Okay, let's start with a simple fact. Our planet is getting warmer. But behind that simple statement, there's some really complex causes, some pretty devastating effects, and you know what? Some surprisingly hopeful solutions. So in the next few minutes, we're going to break down the science of global warming and find out what it's really asking of all of us.
So before we can tackle a problem this massive, we've got to be on the same page, right? Let's get a really clear definition of what we're actually talking about when we say global warming.
You know, at its heart, it's actually pretty simple. Don't think of it like one hot day in the summer. Think of it more like the Earth has a low-grade fever that's been slowly but surely rising for decades. We're talking about a little over 1 degree Celsius since we started industrializing, which might not sound like much, but it has enormous consequences. It's that consistent long-term trend that has scientists so concerned.
And that is the million-dollar question, isn't it? This warming isn't just happening by chance. It's the direct result of a really powerful process happening in the sky right above our heads.
Think of our atmosphere like a cozy blanket wrapped around the Earth. The greenhouse effect is totally natural. It's how certain gases in that blanket trap heat from the sun, which keeps our planet from being a frozen rock. It's why we can live here. But what happens when that blanket gets too thick?
Yeah, about that thicker blanket. Turns out it's not a natural thing. The scientific evidence is overwhelming that human activity is what's making it thicker. So let's play detective and trace the fingerprint we've left on our own climate.
It really boils down to a few major things. We burn fossil fuels for, well, almost everything. To light our cities, run our cars, power our factories, and that pumps billions of tons of carbon into the air every year. At the exact same time, we're cutting down the very forests that act like the planet's lungs, the ones that are supposed to breathe in all those gases. It's a powerful 1-2 punch to our climate.
And when you look closer, there are two main gases to blame. First, there's carbon dioxide, mostly from burning all those fossil fuels. It's the most common, and it can stick around in the atmosphere for hundreds of years. But then there's its partner in crime, methane. It might not be as famous, but in the short term, it's way more powerful at trapping heat. We're talking over 80 times more potent. Together, they're supercharging that greenhouse effect.
Okay, so we've got the why, now for the so what. And this is really important. This isn't some sci-fi movie about a far-off future. We are living with the consequences of this warming right now, today.
On a massive planetary scale, you can literally see the Earth reacting to the heat. Giant ice sheets in places like Greenland and Antarctica are losing hundreds of billions of tons of ice every single year. All that meltwater has to go somewhere, right? Well, it's pouring into our oceans, and that's causing sea levels around the world to rise, and the pace is picking up.
And here's a twist you might not expect. Global warming doesn't just mean everything gets a little bit toastier. It's more like we're pumping a ton of extra energy into the weather system, and that creates chaos. That extra energy fuels extremes on both ends of the spectrum. It supercharges storms and floods in some areas, while at the same time making droughts and deadly heat waves even more intense in others. It's not just warming, it's destabilization.
So, who does all this actually affect? The short answer is absolutely everyone and everything. This isn't just an abstract environmental issue. It hits our food supply through crazy weather. It threatens the ecosystems that animals and plants need to survive. And it even impacts our own health. Every living thing on this planet is feeling the effects.
I know. It's really easy to hear all of that and feel completely overwhelmed. But here is the crucial part. The story does not end there. Understanding the problem is just the first step. Now, let's pivot and talk about the path forward, because there is one.
And I really want this to sink in. We are not powerless here. Not at all. The very same human ingenuity that created this problem can absolutely be used to solve it. There is a clear path forward if we just choose to take it.
And the game plan? Well, it rests on 4 key pillars. 2 of them are about putting less bad stuff into the air. That means using energy way more efficiently and switching our power grid over to renewables. The other 2 are about actively healing the planet, replanting the forests that pull carbon out of the air, and just cutting pollution in general to help nature bounce back.
And a massive piece of this puzzle is how we get our electricity. I mean, shifting away from burning fossil fuels and jumping headfirst into clean sources like solar and wind power, that is one of the biggest, most impactful changes we can possibly make. It's a total game changer.
All right, so we've got the science, we've got the solutions, but what does this all mean for you, for me, for us? This brings us to the most important part, our role in creating that cooler, more stable future.
Let's just be crystal clear about the main takeaway here. This is not a debate anymore. It's a physical reality. It's happening. And the responsibility to act, to protect our home for the generations that come after us, that rests on our shoulders, right now.
And if you ever feel like your small actions don't matter, I want you to remember this quote. It's so true. When millions and millions of people all start making small, conscious choices, it creates this incredible wave of change. It's how we shift markets, change policies, and build a better culture.
So, we'll leave you with this question. Whether it's something as simple as saving energy at home, supporting clean energy, or just starting a conversation with a friend, every single action counts. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. What will yours be?